Welcome to this Saturday devotional. We are in 1 Samuel 18 now. And here we see a Nexus event in 1 Samuel. We see points at which there is now true contention between Saul and David. Up until this point, Saul has been excited to know David and to receive what he has to offer. And David has been pretty humble so far as well. And so we see this begins with Saul's son Jonathan becoming very, very, very good friends with David. A beautiful kinship friendship. Jonathan makes a covenant with David, loving him as himself. And we see that Saul does not take this same route. Saul still uses David, and David is successful, and Saul gives him a good rank and sends him on missions, and there becomes a part where the people sing a folk song, how Saul has slayed his thousands, and David his tens of thousands, and Saul is angry that the people would see him in this light, that they would see David in this light. Why am I second fiddle to this man who works for me? And so this evil spirit from God comes again on Saul, and David's playing the lyre around, and Saul hurls a spear a couple times, wanting to hit David, and obviously David does not succumb to that. This all kind of because Saul is afraid of David, jealous, like scared that he's going to take his power, his position. What more can he take from me but my kingdom? Saul even says. So Saul, to try to gain more power over him, offers his daughter Merab to him. And David is humble enough to know that he and his family line aren't really capable of being a son-in-law to the king. And so David declines, and there's a daughter of Saul who is in love with David, and so when Saul finds out, he's excited and wants to snare David, and so David is still reluctant that he's a poor man. It's no small matter to marry into royalty, but Saul makes a deal with him that he really can't pass up, a very doable non-monetary deal. And so David agrees that he can handle that. He does that. And so David does eventually marry one of Saul's daughter. But Saul again sees David's success and sees his daughter loving him, and he is still scared of him. And it says in 29 that he remained an enemy of David for the rest of his days. David is met with more success. Saul's officers and men love him. And Saul is afraid. And so we see this character of Saul, and it is tragic, and it is frustrating, and it is sad. But that's the reality of choosing apart from God. Choosing your own desires, choosing your way of doing things, choosing to not honor the weight of the responsibilities he gives to us. And so when I read this story, when I read a lot of the stories of Saul, it's a reminder that even in failure, even in frustration, even in worry and doubt, to choose the side of God. Because Saul's not going to win this battle. Saul's not going to get the favor Saul's not going to be memorialized the way he wants to be. Because Saul wants all these things that aren't of God. And he has to watch this young man take everything he wants. So, Lord, I just pray that we would more than anything want you. That we would more than anything want your kingdom come, that we would want your will to be done, that we would be excited and humble to be any small part of that. That we would see those you raise up not as taking from us, but as succeeding in your will. That we would be proud of them and encourage them and support them. Lord, that we would be fearfully and passionately driven to not lose your favor, to not break our covenant with you, to not go astray, to not risk life without you. And even worse, as Saul does, to risk life knowing what life was once like with you. So I pray that we would honor our position, that we would honor our Father all the days of our lives. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you. May the Lord be gracious to you. And today would you know his peace.